In this Star Wars Outlaws video, we will be breaking down the brand new story trailer. It reveals so much new information about the game, and there are some really cool details. But before we do take a look at them, make sure you do subscribe to this channel so you won't miss any future news updates on the game. So, this trailer opens with a shot of Canto Bight, the location that we see in The Last Jedi. And we can see Canto Bight police speeders, specifically the Zephyr GB-134 speeders, flying in the sky. Speaking of Canto Bight, in the reveal trailer of this game, we saw a bearded man overlooking the city, and in this new trailer we can see the same guy actually in-game, and he is hosting a meeting. This trailer also reveals his name, and it is Slero. This might be nothing, but something I noticed was holding his clothes together in the middle of his chest is what appears to be some sort of rock. Now, at the beginning of the gameplay demo we got for the game last year, we saw this emphasis on this rock. In the reveal trailer, Pikes were also holding this sort of crystal as well. I'm not sure if this has any connection, but I just thought I'd mention it anyway. And he is hosting a meeting with representatives from the Hutts, the Pikes, as well as Crimson Dawn. This is actually the first confirmation that Crimson Dawn will be in the game, and this will delight many fans. I also know some people will say this is Kira. Sure, the hair and some of the facial features look similar to Emilia Clarke and her appearance as Kira in Solo: A Star Wars Story, but it isn't her. This is Kira, as seen in a screenshot from Game Informer and confirmed in their article. She won't be voiced by Emilia Clarke though, according to the Game Informer writer. Onto some Imperial stuff now, and we have this really cool shot of a very dark and gloomy looking location. There is lightning, it's raining. There are TIE fighters along with a Sentinel class landing craft that we already knew would be on Tashara at least. There are other shots in this trailer of the same craft on Tashara and such. As the camera pans down, we get to see this really cool street. It has so much detail. There are just so many assets in this location. I translated the Aurebesh, and this sign does say open, and then the one at the top says for market. I think it probably is on about some sort of market. There is actually a stap left leaning on one of the walls, which is pretty cool. Here is a close-up at Kay's grapple hook. So we did actually get this confirmed through the character guide that Ubisoft gave us many months ago now, and this is a close-up look at it, and you'll see on the table as well, like etchings, some Aurebesh as well as drawings, and one of them appears to be Nyx. You can tell by the eyes and the things coming off the side of his head. Kay has actually done the same thing, drew Nyx on her blaster, which is also a nice detail. This scene where Kay slams the head of the Sullustan into a table, I believe is set inside the Mos Eisley Cantina. You'll see these red and blue lights, which are the same ones that we see in the Mos Eisley Cantina. There is also blue milk on the table. Jalen from the first trailer, who many people think is Kyle Katarn, is back in this trailer, and he is actually sat on a sofa this time round. This scene is basically the same scene from the first trailer, except in the first trailer, they are sat inside the Trailblazer, whereas this does not look like the Trailblazer's interior, it looks more like a house, so I do wonder if this is Kay's home on, say, Tashara. It does have spaceship vibes to it, but at the same time, it doesn't look like a spaceship. Maybe I'm wrong, but it is in the cockpit at least, or maybe it's just like Millennium Falcon and it's a completely different part of the ship, but the window doesn't really give me those vibes. It looks like a home. A new faction has been revealed, and they are called Zerek Besh. So these were actually mentioned in a couple of comics previously. Aside from fighting against the other syndicates and stuff like that, we don't really know much about them. This is their first big reveal, I would say. We get to see what they look like, where they are operating out of, things like that. We can see here what their troopers look like. So they have sort of cube helmets with this yellow visor, and they are carrying weaponry and a backpack with some red on. There is also some with, say, yellow shoulder pads. Now, in the background of these shots, we can see the Trailblazer. And then in other shots, we see Kay inside the cockpit of the Trailblazer, and it looks very dusty. There are covers over the chairs. It doesn't look well kept. Then we see Kay adjusting her seat in the cockpit, and these Zerek Besh troopers aiming at her. And I get the feeling Kay is stealing the Trailblazer. So perhaps right at the start of the game, we will acquire the Trailblazer by stealing it from Zerek Besh. Kay actually says in the trailer that she needs the right crew and ship for this big job. I'd imagine stealing one of his ships definitely puts you in the bad books. So my theory is Kay steals the Trailblazer from Slero and Zerek Besh, and he then wants to go after her for stealing it. Another thing I noticed is in these shots of Slero, we can see him standing in front of a big vault. This seems like the same vault that Kay opens with ND5 in the reveal trailer, or at least something very similar. We also get some exterior shots of Zerek Besh's headquarters. Kay is crouching around, so there is some nice stealth gameplay going on here. And this is all in Canto Bight on Cantonica, so they're based out of there. Slero and Zerek Besh are very, very rich. Even though Zerek Besh and Slero will be after Kay, she's going to try and infiltrate his vault, do a heist, and steal everything with a crew with, say, ND5, the commando droid, and more, and then take all of those millions, moving to another headquarters of a criminal organisation, and this is Jabba's palace. Kay is looking at Han Solo, frozen in carbonite. This is set between episode 5 and 6, so hence why he is in carbonite. We also get to see Kay's first meeting with Jabba. There are Gamorrean gods and things like that. It looks very, very authentic to what we see in episode 6. Bib Fortuna and the other aliens are also in the picture as well, which is great to see. Nothing specific to break down here, but I really just wanted to showcase how detailed and rich this environment is on Tashara. There are a lot of buildings, there is a lot of density, and it looks fantastic. I think we can see the Trailblazer landing, there is also another ship leaving, there's wildlife, it really all adds to it. Then we have another environment shot, but this time it's of what should be Mos Eisley on Tatooine. You have the Twin Suns, you have a ship leaving a hangar, you have the same sort of buildings. It looks absolutely stunning, and what I really do like is how this is a different time of day compared to the other shots we've had of Tatooine, which have mostly been in the middle of the day when it doesn't look like this. This is sunset. We get some shots of Kay speaking to the Ashiga clan, which is based on Kijimi, and this is a hive mind clan. Now, this character seems to be their queen, or they have additions in their outfit compared to the other characters. This location also seems pretty grand as well. Then we get to see Kay talk with one of the Pikes. We see this Pike in previous videos for this game. He's missing an eye. He actually kicks her out of his place for being too new to this game. I think this could be, say, if you go to a crime family or syndicate too early and you don't have the reputation, you get kicked out for trying to enter or something like that. He literally goes on to say, come back when you're ready. In the previous gameplay video of the game, we got a few shots of Kay on an Imperial base or Star Destroyer, something along those lines, and we got more shots from probably the same part of the game. She's in this hangar with the Trailblazer, and Nyx is able to go and pick up an E11 blaster rifle and bring it to her, so that's one of the things Nyx is going to be able to do. He will be able to fetch you items without you having to go over and get them yourself. I also liked Nyx taking out this Imperial officer, and then Kay able to do the final hit on him. I am really looking forward to seeing what combos we can do with Nyx and Kay. Nothing really to break down here other than this environment just looks stunning. There is so much going on here on Tashara. It just goes on forever, and this is going to be a huge world for us to explore. There are also a couple of animals with Kay just behind her speeder as well, so whether some will be friendly and not all of them want to eat you, that will be nice. There are some really cool shots of Kay jumping from building to building and doing some rolling action. It's really awesome, and I am really excited to try out this movement. At first I thought, is this Kijimi in the day? But then I looked at the buildings on Kijimi and they're pretty much all flat roofs, whereas this is not. The bat-like species called Chadrafan is also seen in the trailer with this guy. I really like this scene because it has a lot more details than you think. So this is an Imperial repair facility of some sort. We have this Rhodian who is working on this protocol droid. Now, if you look at his arm, he has the Imperial logo on it, and the doors and the walls and such are also Imperial. The protocol droid is actually holding a blaster pistol, and Kay is hiding behind this desk. Some of the robot parts you can see include a pit droid head, B1 battle droid bodies. We are also introduced to this brand new character who is a bounty hunter, but she is said to be one of the best bounty hunters in the galaxy. She is hired by Slero of Zarek Besh to hunt down Kay. This bounty hunter has some cool armor underneath her overcoat and has a cool design, but she goes on to tell Slero that Kay is more connected than you let off, and she's part of something bigger, so that's a mystery. We see this bounty hunter aiming a blaster and find us, and it turns out ND5 is here, and she goes to punch him, and he stops her in her tracks. Now, you might be thinking, why would she be attacking a droid with her bare fists? Well, if you actually look at her fingers, she has some sort of augmentation or attachment. They're all metal, so she's got some strength in her fists and isn't just trying to bare punch ND5. There is only one identical shot that was reused from the previous gameplay demo video that we got to the story trailer, and it's this one of Kay sat in the cockpit of the Trailblazer. As you can see, it's pretty much identical. However, the shot that follows is slightly different. It is entirely possible that this is from a different part of the game, but based on the fact that it follows the previous shot and they pretty much line up, other than the camera placement is a bit different and the lighting and such, I have to imagine it's from the same section. We don't get to see ND5 though because the camera is more zoomed in. There is this really cool shot of an Imperial Star Destroyer. It doesn't have the shield domes on the bridge. If they were destroyed, we would have seen remainants of it, right? There is also a slightly different bridge as well. On top of that, we can see an X-Wing flying away with the Trailblazer, as well as another ship and TIE fighters. I'm unsure what the other ship is, but it is cool to see an X-Wing, but whether they will be part of the rebellion or not, we don't know. This gameplay here on Tashara shows Kay and Nyx riding her speeder on water, so you're going to be able to traverse water, which is awesome. You're not going to have to swim, you're not going to be able to go all the way around, you can just glide on water with this, like a jet ski. We get a close-up of this animal with a bone on its head, and you can see it's attacking Kay and Nyx. There is also this really cool shot of droids in what might be a factory of some sort. They are carrying the TL-50 blaster rifle. I really like this scene of Kay sliding into battle on Kijimi. She's wearing that coat that we saw in the previous videos for the game, and she's taking on a bunch of enemies, and it just looks awesome. She goes from sliding to kicking to shooting. There is some cool fluidity going on here. TIE interceptors are chasing the Trailblazer in this scene, and we do get to see it from various angles. I'm not sure if this does confirm we'll have a reverse camera angle, but hopefully we do. This is also in atmosphere, so we probably just have taken off. TIE interceptors are coming after us, and we have to take them out before we reach space. We also get a look at the grapple hook in action, so as you can see, Kay is navigating her way through this really large location. It could be inside of a ship because there are fans and such, or a storage facility, potentially a factory, things like that, but you are going to be able to use the grapple hook to navigate your way around these sort of vertical locations. There is this really cool shot of Kay and Nyx running towards the camera and running away from Jabba's palace. They are being chased down, grenades are being thrown, there are explosions, blaster fire, all kinds of stuff. It looks awesome. We also see Kay and Nyx sliding down what appears to be a sarlacc. At first I was like, obviously this is the Sarlacc pit, the great pit of Carkoon, right? But if you look at it, I think this Sarlacc is dead. We get to see Death Troopers finally in-game. These were confirmed to be one of the units that will be sent to hunt you down if you reach a certain wanted level with the Empire. They have actually come out of the Sentinel class landing transport. This looks like to be some sort of Imperial base on Tashara, based on the props and such, and then there is also an ATST. Then we have Kay and Nyx running away from Ashiga clan members and these spiders. I also like their blaster as well, it shoots 3 bolts. I think some people will be hoping there is a toggle to turn off these spiders to something that doesn't look like spiders. And the last shot of the trailer is this awesome one of Kay and Nyx on her speeder coming up against a crate dragon in the Dune Sea. Nothing to break down other than it's so cool. This is also the same crate dragon design as seen in The Mandalorian. Which details were your favourite from this trailer? Let me know down in the comment section below. If you enjoyed this video, please do drop a like to help support the channel. Subscribe so you don't miss any future news videos on Star Wars Outlaws. And if you missed any of my previous videos, click on the playlist on screen right now, and I shall see you in my next video. Goodbye.